Hello, today we are going to learn use case diagram drawing. So, if you are not familiar with use case diagram drawing, don't worry, this is pretty simple. Okay, so today one by one we'll learn how to draw a use case diagram. So, I'm starting this with the components of the use case diagram. So, in order to draw a use case diagram, we have to have an idea what is it or what are the components, what are the meaning of the components. Okay, so firstly, we have to get that idea. So, we'll start with components of use case diagram. So, basically, there are three components in a use case diagram. They are relationships, use cases, and actors. Okay, so then we'll one by one see what are these components and what they are doing and how to draw this. Okay, so firstly, keep this thing in your mind. There are three components in a use case diagram. They are relationships, use cases, and actors. Okay, so the the simple one is the actor, so we will start with the actors. Okay, so the next point we are going to see is the symbols. Okay, so use case diagram is a diagram that we are drawing. It's a picture, so everything has a symbol, a component. Every component has a symbol. Okay, so firstly we'll see how to draw these things. Okay, so you can see here I have drawn few things. Okay, so this is the icon of a use case. Okay, and this is the icon of actor. So actors we are denote as this kind of a man, and the latter part we are writing the name of the actor. So we can take as student or anything. If we are creating a student management system, basically the actors would be students, lecturers, teachers, or any clerks who are doing the administration work. Okay, then this is the use case. Okay, so we are uh, drawing use case. Keep this thing in your mind. This is not a circle. Okay, this is an eclipse. This is an eclipse. Okay, so we are drawing it like that, and we are writing the use case name inside this circle, the eclipse. Okay, so we'll talk about this component and the relationships. Okay, if we go to the relationship, we can see three relationships basically in a use case diagram. Okay, so these are those three relationships. They are include, extend, association, generalization. Actually there are four. Okay, not three. So there are four relationships. They are include, extend, associations, and the generalization. Okay, so we'll see one by one what are these relationships. So firstly I will show you how to draw these relationships. Okay, so if it is the include one, we are drawing it like this. Okay, this is the include relationship. How we are denoting it, the symbol for drawing a include relationship, and this is for extend relationship. Basically this looks like similar to you, but when we are drawing, the arrowhead points from which use case to which use case, that is different. Okay, so this is the symbol of extend relationship, and this is for generalization. Okay, this symbol is for the generalization, and this one is for association. Okay, this line for association. Okay, so we'll talk one by one about these things. Okay, what are uh, these relationship types? Okay, so we'll start with the actors. Okay, so we'll start with the actors one by one, learning about these components. Then we'll go to learn about the relationships. Okay, so because in order to understand the relationships, because basically about the association, we have to have an idea about actors and use cases first. Okay, so firstly we'll see who are the actors. Okay, actors are the people who do the task in the system. So if you are aware about use case diagram, you at this point you might aware, okay, why we are drawing use case diagram. What is the purpose of drawing a use case diagram? Okay, why what we are denoting from a use case diagram? Okay, so it's a UML activity. Okay, it's a UML diagram. Use case diagram is one of UML diagram. So why we are drawing use case diagram is for identifying and uh, showing our functional requirements. So in a system we have a functional requirement and non-functional requirements. So we are drawing these use case diagrams in order to show the uh, functional requirements. Okay, so let's take example as school student management system. So if we are building a system for a school, obviously there are people who are working with, who are interacting with this system. Okay, even if it is manually, so we are converting the manually task to automatic way, a systematic way. So the things that we have done by manually, now we are trying to do it in a system. So there are people who are associating the people who are doing activities in this school management system. So actors are the same thing. So in a manual process, uh, we are having like students are there, teachers are there, okay, parents may be there, and the class monitors, they are doing something. Then there can be clerks, and there can be accountant. Okay, uh, these kind of people are associated, or librarian. Okay, library staff, yes, these kind of people basically associated with the school system. So in order to develop a system, now we are creating a electronic, this kind of software system. Now in that system also these people need to be exist, and they are doing these works. Okay, so a people, uh, someone who is doing a task within the system, we can identify as the actors. So sometimes this is kind of a MCQ question you can get a time. So the actors don't need to be every time a living being, okay, a living person. Another system or time can be a actor to a system. Okay, so if we think about any other system, a separate system is doing something with the system that we are building, like a credit authorization one or a banking system. Okay, so that system also can be a actor to our system. So don't get uh, uh, false things like actors needs to be always a living being. That is the wrong point. Actors can be living or non-living things. Okay, so basically the idea of an actor means someone or people. We can say as people, but the best word you can use as someone or something do a task in the system that we are developing. Then we'll move to learn about use cases. Okay, so use cases are the actions performed by the actors in the system or the action performed by the system. Okay, so use cases. So now you know in a system we have actors. Okay, in a system we have actors, the people who are doing tasks. Then they are doing some specific task. Okay, students are coming to register for a course. Okay, then student is taking a quiz. Student are following a course. Students are following any examination. So these kind of activities they are doing. Okay, so that kind of activity, whatever activity that actors or a system perform, we can denote by a use case. Okay, so we take this like that. Okay, so I am writing this as register for a course. Okay, so if we see this is like a library system, so we are developing a system for a library system. Then student can uh, borrow books or search books. These kind of activities they can perform and uh, search books for the librarian. So if a library system we can take actor like librarian, and what they can perform, they can issue books. Okay, they can issue books. So these are the things that the activities performed by the actors or a system. So systems also performing like activities. Once we pay a amount, automatically sending notification, automatically sending SMSs, okay, sending emails, sending reminders, okay, navigating to another confirmation, okay, these kind of things, activities, these kind of things also done by the system. Okay, that kind of activity or the activities that performed by actors we can denote by use cases. So what is the use cases? These are the things that performed by the actors or the system. So basically, in another word, we can tell these are the actually requirements, functional requirements. So what is the meaning of the functional requirements? The things that we want to get done from the system. The things that we want to get done means the ultimately what is the things that customers want to do with the system. So if we are creating a library management system for a school, our customers would be particular schools and there are the users in that system would be the students and the librarian and the teachers. So whatever activities that they perform, whatever activities they need from the system, is the functional requirements. So those things are the use cases, the things that performed by the activities. Okay, so I hope now you have a kind of idea about this use case right now. So then we can move to the relationship. Okay, so let's learn about the relationship. So the first thing, we'll start with the simple one, that is the association. Okay, we'll start with the simple one, that is association. So what is the association? Association. So what are the associations? Association are the relationship between actor and a use case. Okay, the relationship between an actor and a use case. So the students register for a course. Okay, then in library management system, students are borrowing books. So by these associations, uh, a BA or a developer or someone who are looking at this use case diagram simply can get, okay, this actor is doing these tasks. Okay, that is the purpose of denoting this one. Simply we can identify, okay, these are the actors, these actors are doing these things. So in order to show this actor is doing this particular task, so then so if I wasn't drawing these lines, you don't know what are the. So there are three use cases and two actors. If I'm not drawing these lines, you don't know which actor performing which activities. Okay, what are the activities performed by librarian? What are the activities performed by the students? You don't know that. So in order to show this activity is done by this person or this actor. So this activity means actually that this use case. Okay, this use case, this task is performing by this actor. In order to show that, we are denoting it with the one single line drawing in between this uh, actor and the use case. So that is denoting, okay, this actor is performing this activity. It is the relationship that between the actor and the use case. Okay, alright. Then we'll move to see another one. This generalization. Okay, so when you're talking about the developing concepts, you might heard this word, generalization. So if a class has a child, okay, something comes under the same category, okay, so we can put it as a generalization. Okay, so we can uh, draw it for the use cases as well as for the actors. Okay, so we can draw uh, actors generalization as well as the use case generalization. Okay, so it's the same way that we are drawing the generalization. Okay, so we can draw it by like this. Okay, you have to put the arrowhead nicely, not like this. Okay, so this is kind of a little bit adjust now. Okay, so anyway, you can draw it like this upwards. Okay, like this. Okay, you can draw it like this. It need to be like this. Okay, and other arrowhead need to be like this, not going more than the active. Okay, so my arrowhead needs to come a little bit lower. Okay, please keep that in mind. Okay, so if we see the actor, this one as a lecturer, so we can take a full-time lecturer or the part-time lecturers. Okay, so the most of the common factors in the lecturer, you can you can draw like conducting lectures. Okay, let's say this is as conducting lectures. So doing lectures is done by both what both the full-time and part-time lecturers. Okay, both the full-time and part-time lecturers are conducting lectures, but payment for the payment for hourly the payment for the hours that the lecture hours that they conducted, that is calculated only for the part-time lecturers, not for the full-time lecturers. Okay, so this kind of thing you can draw from this generalization, actor generalization. So the specialization things and the generalization, you know about this. General means the common, special means that is comes to the child, the special things. Okay, so if a category we can take in the parent thing. Okay, so the lecturers are the same thing and we have the separate categories. Okay, so like that we can draw with this generalization and the common things that performed by the parent thing. Okay, the common one we can put it like, we can draw it like this. So we can have idea, okay, these sub things also performing this task, but this one is only for the this factor. Okay, that is the idea of this generalization. Okay, so for the use cases also we are having this generalization concept as same as the actor. Okay, then so we learned about the association and generalization. The rest one is include and the extend. Okay, include is a relationship that we perform. Okay, include is a relationship uh, in between use cases. Basically, um, these include and extend. Both of these relationships are between the use cases. Okay, so association is a relationship in between actor and a use case. Generalization we can found within the both actors and use cases, and include and extend we are found in between two use cases. Okay, so what is uh, what is include? Include means, so I told you there are two use cases. We'll take like this, use case 1 and use case 2. So include relationship is a relationship that a use case activity, in order to perform a one use case activity, this use case 7's activity need to be done. Okay, in order to complete this use case activity we need to complete the control passing this use case activity. So we have separate words for these use cases, base use case and all, but now I'm not going to explain those things. Simply we'll have the idea. Okay, so this is for the, if you are not having any idea about how to draw these use case, you can grab something. Okay, so we'll start with the basic and we'll go for the higher level. Okay, so here we are passing this part. So in order to complete this use case, we have to complete this use case task. Okay, so like in order to complete the order, okay, uh, order product. In order to complete the order, we have to complete the payment. So once the payment is done, we can say okay, ordering is completed. So order product has to pass the action to payment, and the payment activity needs to be fulfilled. Okay, so then only we can say okay, ordering a product, that task is completely done. Okay, so that kind of thing we are include as, so we are drawing as the include relationship. So the arrowheads needs to be the towards the use cases that we are passing the control, what is the action or the task that has to be performed in order to fulfill this use case task. Okay, so we are denoting it like this, include, we are putting it the little bit upwards in the arrowhead and we are writing it as include. Okay, then the extend is the optional one. Like this, like include, it's not the extend. Extend is the optional one. So if a use case is optional to someone, okay, so we can write it like extend relationship. So there we are drawing the arrowhead like this. So we'll see a lending book, and pay fine payment. Pay the fine payment. Okay, fine payment for a lending book. When we are borrowing a book from a library, there is a period. Within that period, we have to lend the book. Okay, and when we are lending the book, if the date has expired, okay, if we keep the book more than the days that we have to keep it, then the librarian will give us, okay, you have to pay a fine for this penalty. For these days, you have to pay a penalty. Okay, so like that. So when we are lending a book, it's not always we have to pay the fine. It's condition applied. Okay, so when we are lending a book, okay, so it's not always we have to pay the fine, but sometimes yes we have to. Okay, like that. The optional things we can draw with this extent. Okay, and we can say like another one, withdrawing money. Oh, I just take the, so we like withdrawing money. Withdrawing money. So withdrawing money for that, uh, if it is we are not more than 18, we can't withdraw the money. Okay, so that kind of things we can actually point as extension point. Okay, so we are putting a line here and we are writing the extension point. Okay, so here we can uh, write like what is the if the expiry date we kept the book more than the required date. Okay, so like that we can put the extension points in this extend relationship. Okay. Another one good example for this include relationship for withdrawing money or updating money. Not the updating, depositing money. Okay, when we deposit the money or when we withdraw the money, the bank balance need to be updated, right? The bank balance need to be updated in the bank. Otherwise, this will be incomplete. Okay, that kind of activity we can tell as a include one. Okay, in order to say the withdrawing money which task has completed, the bank balance need to be updated. Okay, so that kind of thing we can say as include relationship. Okay, this is a include relationship. Okay, all right. Now we'll see a simple example from uh, these use case diagrams. So we are now going to draw a ATM machine use case diagram for a ATM machine. So if you are not a familiar one, it's better you are using this kind of techniques and start to improve your skills and start drawing this use case diagram if you are not ever tried it. Okay? So firstly, tell me if you are listening up until now, the things from you gathered, okay, from the knowledge that you gathered, tell me what are the actors who are not the what are, who are the actors in an ATM machine. Okay, ATM machine what we are doing? We are putting the card and we are withdrawing the money. Then who will be the actor? Okay, yes, there are users or the customers we can say as customers or the account holders other ones actually now we can from another bank ATM also we can withdraw money or someone who has a bank account. Okay, we can say as users and the customer. Okay, then what they can do with the ATM machine. Okay, what are the things that a customer or a specific use account holder can perform with the ATM machine. Okay, so they can deposit money. Okay, they can deposit money. Um, yes, they can deposit money and they can withdraw money. Okay, then what they can do? They can check the balance. Okay, then if deposit money, withdraw money in order to complete, the bank balance need to be updated. Bank balance need to be updated. Okay, they can check the balance and yes, we can perform these kind of simple activities. Okay, then we'll uh, see the relationship. Okay, so deposit money. It is what is the relationship? It is something that in between users and the customers. So it is a association. And withdrawing money, it's the same. It's also association. Checking the balance, it is also an activity that users are performing. Association. Then balance, updating the bank balance, it is something seriously happening. Okay, so after the depositing and withdrawing money, so it's the include one. It's the include relationship for a deposit money and withdraw money use cases. Okay, so withdrawing money, you can put the extension point and say the age need to be more than 18. Okay, like what? Okay, yes, what else? And so we are basically doing performing these kind of activities from a ATM machine. See how much that this is easy. Okay, so you can draw this kind of diagram and see what are these things. Okay, now we are going to draw this diagram. Okay, okay. So we have the user. I'm writing it as user, and now I forgot to say you we have a something called system boundary. Okay, we are having something called uh, system boundary. Okay, that is the thing that we are drawing. Okay, in order to show the system, the area. Okay, so we can say this as use case diagram for the ATM machine. Okay, so these are the actor, one is the use. Okay, so what are the use cases comes in here? The withdrawing money, okay, withdraw money, deposit money, uh, check bank balance, and the include one. Okay, so we can now put the association. Like this. Okay, then I include relationship in order to complete the withdrawing money and updating deposit money. A bank balance updation needs to be happen. Okay, okay, so you can draw it nicely like this. Okay, I hope now you have an idea about use case diagrams. Okay, so now this is how we are drawing the diagram. So you can nicely arrange these use cases without collapsing each and crossing these lines. You can nicely uh, fill the the system boundary with your use case diagrams and make it arrange nicely and draw the diagram nicely. So I hope now you understand what are the components of use case diagrams, why we are using it, okay, what are the relationships, so how to draw them. Okay, So I taught you a simple mechanism, this diagram, in order to, if you are a newest one, so how to break things and learn how to draw these things. Okay, so then see, we'll meet with another UML diagram. Till then, uh, very goodbye to all of you, and yes, we'll meet in the future with another UML diagram. Thank you.